One little Jewish man was driving along a one-way street here in New York City, the wrong way. The cop stopped him and he said, "Didn't you see the arrow?" He said, "I didn't even see the Indians." Now, the dress of the Orthodox Jew on the East Side is also going into limbo. But even today, you can still go down there and find them wearing these long black coats and the velvet hats and the long, long sideburns. They beat Elvis Presley years ago. One such man, by the way, who had heard of the difficulties of integration in the South, decided he was going to go down and give some sermons in the South. But he came from the East Side. But he goes down, gets on the train to go to Atlanta, Georgia. And what is he wearing? Long black coat, long sideburns, a black velvet hat. He gets off the train. This was quite a sight. So all the kids and all the people started following him. Before he knew it, before he could even realize it, he turned around. He sees a long line behind him. He turns around and he says, "What's the matter? You never saw a Yankee before." Speaking of the integration system, in one of the schools in the South, one little boy registered in school and he signed his name, a Negro boy, signed his name Israel Ginsburg. The teacher said, "Are you Jewish?" He says, "I got trouble enough being a Schwarzer." What, of course, it is the Jew's answers to different situations and problems that, of course, make him stand out in various ways. In a court trial here at the Supreme Court in New York, one of the witnesses was being interviewed by the prosecutor, and the witness said to him, "Do you know the accused?" He says, "How should I know him?" He said, "Ever tried to borrow money from you?" He says, "Why should he borrow money from me?" The judge got a little out of patience. He said to him, "Why must you answer all the prosecutor's question with another question?" He says, "Why not?" It is also the way the Jewish people face their problems that makes them stand out. Let me tell you about N.Y.C. Cohen, who had a bad heart. His doctor said to him, "Moshe, you got a bad heart. We know it. Take my advice. Go to Miami. Lie in the sun for a month. It'll do you good." He went down to Miami, lied in the sun for 3 weeks, got well tanned, but unfortunately the coronary caught up with him, and he died. They shipped the body back to the Bronx, and his two friends, Barney and Jake, went to see him before he was buried. Barney looks at him and he says, "You know, Jake, Moshe looks pretty good." He says, "Why shouldn't he? He spent 3 weeks in Florida." The Jews have taken to all the American ways like a duck to water. They become easily assimilated. Golf, for example, today is a very popular sport among Jewish people. Here, on the East Side, speaking of funerals, there was a big funeral procession going by, and on top of the casket lie a beautiful set of golf clubs. One man said to his friend, "What a tribute to that man. How he must have loved golf. They should put a golf set like that on the hearse." He said, "Listen, I got news for you. That man still loves golf. It's his wife's funeral. Right at the funeral, off to the golf course." Now, if I were to ask you to tell me what quality of the Jewish people stands out most in their behavior, I think you would have to talk about their practices in love and marriage. Because love and marriage play a very important role to Jewish people. Weddings are enormous ceremonies, are very important. Love, marriage, old age, education. These are things Jewish people are very much concerned with. A Jewish mother, does everything she can to get her daughters married. This to her is very important. One mother had a daughter. She was in her anxious 40s, and nobody had shown up yet. She says, "Sarah, listen." She says, "Take your mother's advice. Put an ad in the paper." She says, "Advertise." She says, "Put attractive girl looking for a nice man, and give him a box number to write to." The girl did. She advertised, as she said. Attractive girl seeking eligible young gentleman, box 33. So mother says, "Did you get any replies?" She says, "Just one reply, Mama." She says, "What sort of man?" She says, "Mama, I can't tell you." She says, "I'm your mama, tell me." She says, "All right, it was from Papa." The Jewish ceremony of the wedding is a highlight in any Jewish couple's life. A rabbi had just finished marrying a couple. When he was finished, the groom said, "Rabbi, how much do I owe you?" He said, "Whatever you think it's worth." So he gave him 50 cents. The rabbi took one look at the bride. He gave him back a quarter. One lady was congratulating her friend. She says, "Mrs. Goldberg, congratulations. I hear your daughter just got married." She says, "Yes, thank you very much." She says, "You don't seem too happy about it." She says, "Why should I be happy? You see what she married? He's a beautiful, handsome man. Blonde, curly hair, big muscles. He looks like Hercules." He's handsome. A dope. A bulvan. A bulvan is 2 dopes. He says, at the wedding, came time for him to hit the glass with his foot. He hit it so hard, she lost the baby. Love and marriage is so important, especially to a Jewish girl, that what does she do on her vacation? She saves all year so she can run to the Waldmere. Because she's heard that at the Waldmere in the Catskill Mountains, there must be some schmendrick waiting. One man got a call in New York about 2 o'clock in the morning. He picked up the phone. He says, "Hello?" He said, "Hello? Is this Morris?" He says, yes, this is Morris. Who is this?" "Morris, this is Sadie." He says, "Sadie? Sadie? With which Sadie am I having the pleasure?" He says, "Morris, this is the Sadie with whom you already had the pleasure." "Oh," he says, "that Sadie, the Sadie from the Waldmere Hotel. Oh, I remember you. You were such a good sport." He says, good sport. "I'm pregnant. If you don't marry me, I'm going to kill myself." He says, "That's a good sport." That's why, of course, there is so much humor and so many jokes about love and marriage, especially in Jewish life. One man, for example, said to his friend Abe, he said, "I just got a beautiful French poodle for my wife." He said, "Really? How'd you make such a good trade?" Another man was congratulating his friend. He says, "Listen, I hear you were married 50 years today. Is that true?" He says, Yes. He says, 50 years of marriage. He says, "It feels just like yesterday." You know what a rotten day it was yesterday. Of course, the arguments that among the Jews especially, if you could ever record them, you could make the funniest records in the world with them, the funniest. One Jewish housewife became a widow unexpectedly. She went with her 4 children to the funeral parlor before they buried her husband, and the rabbi got up to give a eulogy. She said he was a devoted husband. At that, the wife sat up straight. She was a little surprised. Not only was he a devoted husband, but he was a kind and loving father. At this, she was thoroughly amazed. She turned to her son. She says, "Go take a look in the box, see who's laying there." The things that Jewish people put emphasis on in their marriage is also interesting. Let me tell you about one very happily married Jewish couple, married 25 years, Sam Katz and his wife, Pussy. Pussy Katz. On the 25th wedding anniversary, she said to him, "Sam, I've been a good wife to you. I've brought up wonderful children. I've kept the house. Listen, you want to have a good time on our anniversary? Let's go to the Copacabana." Spelled backwards is Anabakak. She says, "Let's go to the Copacabana. I want a dress you should buy me at Sex with a plunging neckline. You know, a BP dress. BP, below the pupik." He says, "Listen, you're too old for a dress with a plunging neckline. What do you think you are, a young chicken?" She says, "Sam, if I wear it only once, it'll make me happy." He says, "Darling, it'll make you happy. I'll buy you a plunging neckline. It'll plunge to the floor." He bought her a dress with a BP, took her to the Anabakak, and they're sitting there. They're served hors d'oeuvres. They're served drinks. When they get to the soup, the wife says, "Sam, I'm not enjoying. I got heartburn." He says, "What heartburn?" Eat everything for the prices I'm paying. If you don't eat it, I'll get you home, I'll kill you. Says, Sam, I can't enjoy. I got heartburn. Says, what heartburn? No heartburn. You haven't got heartburn. Says, I'm telling you I got heartburn. Says, no, you haven't. Your left side is in the soup.